Well, it may go down as one of the most infamous homes in California history. A quaint three-bedroom ranch house near Sacramento and home to the alleged Golden State Killer, the country's most prolific serial rapist and murderer. Well, according to the Sacramento Bee, the home of Joseph D'Angelo sold last week for $320,000, low end of the market. Not hard to see why. First time we saw the house, it was surrounded by crime tape. Detectives hauling out bags full of potential evidence from an alleged decades-long crime spree in which police believe D'Angelo raped and terrorized more than 50 women and killed more than a dozen people. D'Angelo now sits in a Sacramento jail awaiting trial. Let's bring in real estate developer Tom Maoli. Joins us via Skype. All right, Tom, again, D'Angelo's arrested in April 2018. 20 months later, it's sold, yeah, for a good deal, but did you find it hard to believe that people would overlook who once lived there?
I find it astonishing. It's so hard to believe that someone could live in this house. You know, I've been doing real estate my whole life, and it's always been location, location, location. Clearly, it's now attention, attention, attention. Everybody wants attention. It's all about social media. You know, to buy one of these houses, you're clearly looking for attention. You want to be involved in some part of history, because I would be scared to death to be in that house.
So that's interesting. So it's kind of flipped. You and me are the same way. I'm like, no way. There's way too many bad vibes here. I'm out. I don't care what the price is. But you're saying it's flipped to say, hey, that's a famous house. I want in.
Yeah, I think, listen, and listen, price drives the market. And I think that, you know, $320,000 for a price for a house in California in Curtis Heights. I mean, that was a steal. They clearly got a great deal. But listen, they got a great deal, but you're going to have to live with the ghosts that are in that house. No pun intended. You know, I wouldn't want, I don't know if I could sleep there at night, you know, but people will chase you know, price, and clearly it was a great deal. I mean, John Bonet, you know, the house of Travis Alexander, where Jodi Arias basically tore him to shreds, ripped him into pieces, came home and sliced them up. You know, that house sold, and the current owners that are living in that house basically said that it was a great deal. It was a great neighborhood. It was a great school system, and they didn't care about it. So I guess, you know, to each his own. Everyone has their own feelings, but I couldn't do it.
Yeah, you know, and we're looking at that place there where Travis Alexander was shot, stabbed. I mean, it's just brutal here. I mean, is that something that a buyer you have to disclose, you have to talk about?
Oh, I think you have to disclose it. I think this is not buyer beware. I mean, you're talking about, you know, a murder scene, and we're not just talking about, you know, someone died in the house. We're talking about a murder scene, and you know, something that's been part of American history. It's been on the news. I clearly think you have to disclose it. I mean, listen, you know, obviously with all this going on now, and now this is, you know, becoming part of, you know, what we're talking about on the news, you know, clearly I can't wait till Nicole Brown Simpson's house sells, because maybe we'll really find out what happened. Wow.
Hey, you also mentioned John Benet Ramsey, by the way, a little girl killed 1996 in the basement, yet someone bought that one. One other factor that can crop up is it almost becomes a tourist attraction. People don't care about that, I guess, huh?
It's clearly a tourist attraction. You know, it's interesting. I was out in Denver on business, and I happened to drive by the neighborhood where John Benet Ramsey's house was, because I was in that area, and it was on the way to where I was going, and there were people lined up. They were still putting flowers out. Years later, people were taking pictures. It's a tourist attraction. So I guess you have to want to live with that, and the discount is that great that you don't care about it, but not for me.
Yeah. Price and folks are willing to overlook. Interesting. All right, Tom, great talking to you. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.